Hey guys, Xayah bringing you another video and welcome back to a Challenger Spectate. Today we are watching the current rank 1 EU West, who I believe is an AD carry player, and they are playing Xayah. And it is worth mentioning, the reason why I wanted to watch an AD carry player is because I have been thinking for a little while, and I would like to hear what you guys think. I'm potentially tempted to start playing AD carry even on the main account, and the reason being is my champion pool for mid lane is not very influential in solo queue. You know, they don't roam, they don't really snowball, they scale, right? They're scaling mages, a lot of them. But that is what I enjoy playing, and I don't want to just be like, oh, I'm just going to start playing Kiana or something because that's the thing to do. Support is my second kind of role, and jungle, but jungle I just don't find fun. I don't click with it, I just don't fully find it fun. So support is like my secondary, and I have fun in that role, but you do have a limited amount that you can do. So this is where I've been thinking about playing AD carry, because AD carry, if you've asked me for years what is my favorite actual role of pure enjoyment, it's AD carry. I actually think mechanically and just having fun, AD carry is very, very fun. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think it would be a weird idea or a good idea if I started playing AD carry? Because yeah, I might give it a go. Whoa, really good start by the Rakan, gets a double knock-up. Unfortunately, they couldn't fully use it because at the same time the double knock-up happened, Milio landed a very good Q. So that was very good by Milio because that saved them even more, less health loss. It is worth mentioning Milio in lane phase, yeah, it's quite bad. He's got a lot of strength to him as an enchanter in mid to late game, and that is very similar to like a Soraka or a Sona or something like that. They suck in lane phase. Well, Soraka doesn't absolutely suck in lane, but like Sona does. Milio's exactly like that, because I have seen some people go, Milio's awful. He's not. He's just a little bit out of the norm for what Riot has done recently. Riot really hasn't made really weak early laning champions in quite a long time. Milio is quite weak in the early game. So if you just adjust that, then you can play around it. Just don't expect to be fighting all the time and carrying. So Rakan goes for an early flash there, which is a good idea, by the way, because it forced an early Milio flash, and once he's used his flash even before Kayn has managed to get to the gank, it just means he's probably dead. So that was a lot of, both bot lane did use flash, so both Xayah and Rakan, but they do get first blood on the Xayah, and you get the flash off the Milio, which is nearly just as important, because it means either one of two things. It means you potentially have more kill potential on Milio when he comes back to lane, or he has to play so much even more passive than he already has to normally in the early game. So you're basically limiting how much Milio can even do, which is already quite not a lot in early game. By the way, runes worth mentioning: lethal tempo, obviously standard, overheal, bloodline, coup de grace, or coup de grace, if for some people pronounce it that way, which I think is wrong. And then magical footwear, the biscuits, which is actually kind of interesting to me, and attack speed, attack damage, and armor. So pretty standard, nothing completely out of the ordinary. I'd say biscuits is the only weird thing that I would say. It seems a bit out of place, but Xayah, yes, she is an auto-attacking AD carry, but she also is an ability using AD carry. She isn't just a standard, I'm going to right click. She has to obviously manage her feathers. She has to use E to recall her feathers, which obviously the E has a 30 mana cost, which isn't a lot, but if you don't have that mana at the time, it feels very bad. So having the biscuits that she probably will hold on, you can see she's got 2 in her inventory. That is purely to make sure that she stays topped up on mana for as long as possible. And obviously with the crit change that AD carry had, I think Xayah was one of those AD carries that was going Essence Reaver first. You don't go Essence Reaver first, obviously, pretty much anymore, because you need to get to your mythic item, and then you want to get to your crit empowering item, which obviously is either Infinity Edge or Navori Quick Blades, I think it's called. And obviously Navori is what Xayah ends up going pretty much all the time. So yeah. Top lane, it is weird to see a Kennen of all things. You really do not see Kennen much anymore in League of Legends. He does seem, as a champion, kind of... I know it's going to be sounding maybe obvious what I'm about to say, but he does feel his age. Kennen, for him to be properly back, I would say, he needs to do so much more damage than he currently does. because he's a technical, obviously a ranged top laner that doesn't really even have enough damage to poke out the average top laner. They can kind of just ignore him, and that's his whole kind of job. Hey, Creeper. So when that's his job and he can't really fulfill it, it doesn't feel great. So yeah. Ooh, nearly gets the knock-up. Obviously, Milio's Q has priority over every ability in the game unless it's unstoppable, so it pushes Rakan back. Even if he's mid-air, it will continue his ability, but it will push him back, which obviously is a very powerful tool. And that's the thing I do like about Milio. He's, I'd say, roughly, you know, pretty much a skill-based enchanter. Yes, you could just play Milio putting W on your AD carry and just pressing shield and occasionally ulting, but the Q is really kind of what separates the good and the bad Milios. If you can accurately hit your Q and stop mobility, it's absolutely insane. So, yeah. Creeper says, how's my day been? I don't want to give too much away because I don't know how much or when this is being uploaded. But yeah, it's not been a good solo queue day for me, unfortunately. It's been quite a bad one. But they happen, you know. Yes, it's a bit mentally like, that was a bad day. But the way that I've always tried to have in my mind is I'm not the best player in the world, but even the best players in the world have bad solo queue days. Even Faker, you know, that's the one I've quoted recently. He had a 10-game loss streak recently. And everybody says, like, he's kind of one of the best players in the world. And he is probably the best player in, like, historically the best player there's ever been. But even he had a 10-game loss streak in solo queue. So if he can have a 10-game loss streak, I can definitely have a loss streak too. That's the thing. A lot of people, including myself, we're very harsh on ourselves when we have loss streaks or we lose games because you don't like it. Anyway, nice Bush Wookiee tactic by the blue bot lane. With then the ulti finishes off the kill. Very nice play. So obviously, Bush Wookiee tactic, it does work, and that's why people do it. You know, just waiting in that bush, it makes the enemy team just feel a little bit safer. So they're like, okay, let's push out the lane so we can then go back for free. And there we go. And very nice confidence level by the Xayah. Rakan gets the kill. Obviously, yes, Xayah would have liked the kill. Just survives. That was close. Very nice by the Rakan to do that, by the way. But yeah, very, very high confidence. And that is one thing that I've always said when we watch Challenge Spectators that I enjoy watching. The biggest thing that you see differently, if we watched a Diamond 1 spectate, mechanically, you wouldn't see much difference. It's the confidence level. Oh, she got the base off. Yeah, it's the confidence level. Is them knowing that they can go for a play and having complete confidence that they can do it. That is something that it isn't exactly a skill. It's just, it's knowledge more than anything. It's them knowing that they can pull it off. Knowing the little intricacies of why they can pull it off. Like, for example, she went for that dive, but she had no thing in her mind of like, oh, you know, Vi's not around the area. And that's partially in the background. And these are things that we don't see the crazy, amazing players have. I try to do it partially, but I don't always. Is this Xayah will always have in her mind, where's Vi? And she'll be keeping a mental track of Vi every single time she sees her. She'll be roughly tracking in her kind of brain, just by default. She doesn't even have to think about it overly. But she'll be like, okay, I saw Vi, you know, top. Well, that means I'm safe here for at least a minute, maybe at least. But if you see, if there's a deep ward here, she'll be like, right, Vi was here, and then she might go to Wolves, and then she might go for Grom. She'll be kind of timing it in her mind of where the jungler can be. And, you know, you'll occasionally get it wrong, but playing like that and thinking that way, instead of always having to play safe, even if you don't have vision, always being like, well, Vi could be here, keeping track of it mentally of where the jungler is likely to be, it gives you more innate confidence. It gives you that ability to be like, no, we can play aggressive now because Vi should be at their Wolves, not here. And that is one thing that pretty much every high rating player is actively doing all the time. And that's something that you can't exactly teach. And that's part of the thing with when people say to me, what's the differences in rating? A lot of the differences in rating, yes, mechanics is true, farming is true, decision making's there. But there are a lot of background things that people don't really talk about that also make up what makes a high rating player. And part of that is just that innate decision making of knowledge. Of they are predicting where things are going to be. But it's not just a random prediction, it's an educated prediction. They're educated predicting because they've played the game a lot and they know what the jungler should be doing at any given time. pretty much. So that is one thing that if you want to try and take away from this game, and that's pretty much no matter what role you're playing, especially when it comes to the jungle, I'd say, try to keep a mental track of where you think the jungle is going to be. The nice little thing by their Rakan is also worth knowing. So for a lot of players, that would have made the Xayah go, oh, we're engaging. Notice how the Xayah didn't go for that full engage, even though the Rakan went for one. And that is because the Xayah would have known, well, that's not an engage, that's the Rakan just looking for a little bit of a play. Not every engage, not every single thing you do should translate into we're going all in here. That translated into it because they knew Milio can die. But that's the thing, is I'd say in more average ranks, that Rakan just going for that play there, the Xayah in that situation probably would have gone absolutely all in, ulted everything, and it would have been a complete waste. Milio would not have died in that situation. But that's where they have, again, the decision making of, okay, we're not going all in there, that's pointless, we'll wait, and then they get a kill later on the line. So now Xayah by herself is very dead. She's going to try and do her best, so Xayah's tanking it. And why would Xayah tank it, by the way? So the two champions that should have tanked that, and one of them did, was either Xayah or Kayn. But arguably not Kayn in this instance. But the reason why it would either be Xayah or Kayn is because both of those champions have threat resets. So Xayah, she could ult, go in the air, and the tower, the aggro goes off her. Or Kayn, he didn't have ultimate at the time, but if he had ultimate, he can go in the enemy champion and reset the tower aggro. So if the Rakan actually tanked that, it wouldn't have been as good. He would have actually had to physically walk out of tower range where the other two wouldn't have. They would have to just use their ults. So also keep that in mind as well. So very good bot lane so far. Obviously quite ahead in farm. The game as a whole, it's going quite well for blue team, but at the same rate, look at top lane. Top lane is going awful. Kennen is half farm of the Sion, and Sion is a very strong champion in solo queue now. Also, Vi, one of the strongest junglers in the game, she's 3-0. So yes, technically the rest of them, mid isn't going too well, bot isn't going too well. Mid is still 20 farm ahead, so at least the Syndra is farming well. And then bot lane, yeah, there's not much I would say nice to say about the enemy bot lane. They are kind of just getting beat. And as you've seen here, what are the enemy team, or what is going on now? They killed bot lane tower, so they'll do a lane trade. And they're doing this, by the way, to maximize plates. Kennen, with how weak he is, he's not going to get plates because he's very weak. Nice route by Xayah into the autos. Lovely play by Kayn. Instant flash to dodge the Q. And now the enemy team on the back foot. Oh, that's an odd play by Vi, I would say. Does get the shutdown, does the Kayn. Milio is showing up. Rakan is now here. Can they end up killing the Sion? That's going to be probably the aim. Milio ulti. Don't think they're going to get the Sion. They'll need more feathers, and they just don't have it. But now they're going to be hopefully managing to get a plate or two. So there's one there. So already the lane swap has been okay. But yeah, so obviously, typically in most games of solo queue, your AD carries your ultimate carry. Oh, Zeri's here now. So I don't know. Sion, by the way, should not still be here. It is worth mentioning that. He does get the kill, so you could say it's worth for him. But look at bot lane. Kennen has done a lane trade. Oh, he does get the kill. Kennen's done a lane trade and has actually now gained quite a lot. He might be dead in this. That hit, wow. So it's just, well, the Kennen is so beyond weak. I think he's actually going to be dead. But yeah, it was a bit weird for Sion to overstay that much. God, Vi really wants this kill. She's got ulti in 15 seconds. She's got Q up again, and Kennen does go down. Might translate into Vi getting killed by the Kayn, though. I actually don't know, because again, Kayn is a very weak champion before he gets his form. Yeah, he doesn't get the kill well. So yeah, the Sion and the Vi are going to be a problem this game. So we'll obviously see how the game translates. Again, Xayah and Milio, this is the advantage of playing a scaling champion. Both of them are 0-3, but both of them scale like crazy. So this is, again, if you were playing a Lucian or a Draven, just doesn't scale as well, is where you kind of go, oh, that's not a great feeling because I've lost lane phase and I'm an early game champion. These are late game champions, so it's not the end of the world. So interesting enough that Xayah, which again, it boggles my mind. So even I know in this situation would be confused of why is my AD carry top lane, right? I would be. Dragon is up. It's a 5v5 opportunity. You are a fed AD carry and you're split pushing top lane. So It does show weird decision making happens everywhere. Zed is trying to make some big plays here, which is cool. Can he get the kill here? So close, doesn't yet get it. He will go down to the Zeri. Kayn comes in. He might try to get over to the Syndra. Nope. So yeah, Xayah is split pushing, and now they've lost Dragon, and they've now lost basically a team fight. That is an example of not a good split push opportunity from Xayah, and that is exactly the same. It could be rank 1 challenger. They're never all going to play perfect. That is the type. Excuse me. Talking so much with a dry mouth. That is the type of opportunity. That's the type of split push that I don't like, and that, you know, it's not. You know, it's not a Yorick split pushing that I'm like, oh, what the hell's he doing? That's what he's designed for. A Xayah split pushing when she's strong and Dragon is about to be fought for, that just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, hopefully you guys can see the differences of when split push is good and bad. What I might do in the next few days is we'll watch a challenger spectate of a split pusher, because then it gives you the example of, yeah, this is a good split push, because there is a difference. Anyway, I don't really know what Kennen's going to be able to do this game, by the way, because Sion is only going to get tankier. He's got 2 complete items, and Kennen hasn't even got 1. Like, Kennen is so far behind. So this is going to be an interesting game. I really don't see how they're going to make any impact. And also, the Vi is doing so well that the Zed has just died, you know, being top lane. Notice how a lot of the deaths are happening when Kennen's alone or Zed's alone. Realistically, I think the enemy team's best chance of doing anything here is grouping, and hopefully they've got a lot of good CC. They've got Kayn, Red Kayn has W, Kennen has stuns AoE, Rakan CC, Xayah's got her root. They could lock things up and probably end up killing things. But if they're all individual, they're not as strong. Alright, so Kayn is in the area, potentially looking for the Zeri. Does get the knock up into the Rakan, gets a double knock up into the Charm. Really nice play by Rakan. And Xayah, boom, gets the kill with the Rakan getting the Milio. That, honestly, MVP in the background of this game. Yes, the Xayah is playing well. This Rakan is really good. Why did the Sion not go Heartsteel? True. I think if he went Heartsteel, it potentially would be better, because like we've all seen Sions get up to like 10, what the hell's going on here? 10,000 plus health. Quite normal for a Sion nowadays. And like, yes, you technically have got a tank killer kinda with Xayah, but she's not the best tank killer. She just has Kraken Slayer, and nobody else on the enemy team will do any form of tank killing or health killing damage. So realistically, I think the Sion should have probably gone Heartsteel. Yaksho is a very strong item, though. It is worth saying. I think tank items, well, tank items, I would say, are strong, definitely. But for the mythics, yeah, 2 of them obviously stand out insane. Yaksho and Heartsteel are just beyond crazy. I actually am surprised they haven't toned either of them down yet. But, yeah, I don't know. So Zed, once again, top lane. Kayn has joined him. They're trying to make a play in top. Hopefully they survive, because obviously if they don't, it translates not very well. Xayah now obviously bot lane by herself. She should be relatively okay, though. Oops, I slowed down the game. There you go. My bad. Oh, did he do a bad base? So Kayn was basing in the river, by the way. Nice knock-up, stops her Q. Rakan going to be on the Sion, and the Sion has got 3.2k health right now. But the Xayah shows up. Can they make a play happen? Nice knock-up. Xayah's on her way. Into the Rakan ulti, by the way. Into the stun. The Sion is actually melting and does go down. Big shutdown for the Xayah, so that's very nice. Wait, what the hell? Kayn just got executed. I mean, technically, if he got executed over getting killed, it's worth. And the enemy team probably now can't really do that much with Sion being dead. Dragon will be coming up in less than a minute. I hope, and I will say, I do hope we now see Xayah start grouping. She has 2 items, and, you know, some AD carries, I will say, you know, that weird split push on the first big dragon fight. Some AD carries, their reasoning for doing that was, I didn't have 2 items. So this Xayah now has got her 2 items. This is obviously the instant burst of damage now. So now that she actually has these 2, there shouldn't be any big excuse of like why she should be top lane when Dragon's being done. It would literally not make sense. So she's going to go back. I think she has enough time. I don't actually have the thing up. Let's see if we can get it. Objective time is 15 seconds till Dragon. Ugh. She is pushing it a bit, but she pushed it because she just bought a Lord Dominic's outright. So this obviously, again, is a tank killing item. So you gain 25% bonus physical damage against champions with more health than you. Well, Sion's going to have more health. Vi is going to have more health. So that obviously with Kraken Slayer is a tank killing thing. But here we go. So, you know, yes, it's worth saying they are here. Sion obviously is front line, which is where he should be, but he has to be careful. This Xayah is going to do a lot of damage right now. Vi is holding Q. Zed's going to go all in for the Zeri. Does get exhausted. Vi by herself. Enemy team completely split. Oh, and Rakan gets the pick with his ulti. Nice route by Xayah. Rakan ends up dead, but the enemy team is so on the back foot here, they just can't do anything. And that was a just fight. Perfect example of a fight. And this is something that I, you know, for the time of League of Legends has always been a bone that I've had to pick with a lot of solo queue players. Have you ever been in a solo queue game and you're someone in your team goes, oh noob, you're focusing the tank? Yes, sometimes that is the best thing to do. But if you, like, especially nowadays that tanks actually do a lot of damage, if this Xayah didn't focus that Sion and just try to walk through that Sion to like, okay, I'll go attack the AD carry, she'd be dead. Sometimes having a fight from literally the front of the enemy team and fighting through the enemy team front to back is what you need to do. It's unrealistic. They do end up getting the kill, so Sion's going to try his best. Oh, really nice. Xayah ult cancels the Vi ulti. Stopwatch though by Vi. Can the Xayah get out? She doesn't have any survival anymore, but her orb walking is perfect, and she manages to go right on the edge. Orb walking, attack moving on the side of the fight with staying alive with maximizing damage. That is the part of AD carry that I absolutely love. So yeah, she's playing very well, this Xayah. She is taking the opportunity and trying to carry, and she is doing that. But again, let's not discount the Rakan also is playing very, 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 very well. So got to give him props too, because again, a lot of supports are forgotten about, and this Xayah would only be this fed if the Rakan has done what he has done this game. So well done to him. But yeah, there was a ward in that bush. I don't know if did she clear it or a blue trinket. So she is taking all the farm, you know, all the blue buffs and stuff. It's kind of okay to take blue because there wasn't like a mage mid lane that really needs it. She's also very fed and she's kind of doing the carrying. So you kind of can let her have that. She is, by the way, level 14. So she's higher level than both junglers right now, which is kind of insane. Higher level than Kennen, higher level than Sion. So yeah, she has got a lot of XP. So it does show when you're having a good game, and you know, it is because some people say, oh, she's only level 14. She only is ahead in XP because she... People in Challenger as well, by the way. But she's only that high level because she did go solo a bit. And I will even admit that myself. That is true. And that is something when I play mid lane, I'd like to do a bit more of as well. Turbo, thank you so much, dude, for the 4 months of Prime. Says, hey, Huz, hope you're well. Haven't been able to catch a stream or play LOL as often these days. Oh, no worries. I'm doing all right. What's my thoughts on Rel? I think Rel can work in certain matchups and combos quite effectively. Oh, they are going to try and go for a really good Xayah ulti. Does get the feathers, and again, just kites and does the back, like the side damage, and the enemy team cannot deal with it. Enemy team, okay. So this also is a nice thing to show. The Zeri is inting right now. So even in Challenger, there's an actual inter. This Zeri is just running into this Xayah 2 times in a row just to die. So again, if you in silver or gold have an inter and you're like, dude, high rating is so much better. Not really, because you have just seen the Zeri int. So it's also nice to show that as well. But there you go. Very, very amazing performance by the blue bot lane of Xayah and Rakan. But obviously the reason for doing this was to highlight good play, but also get your thoughts on me playing AD carry. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a good idea? Let me know. But anyway, that is going to be it. To end out the video, Blue Sea and OTP, 10 months tier 1. Thank you so much, my dude. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Call down the reckoning.